Hello, fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I'm here today for this week's WIP and Chat. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. WIP, W-I-P, stands for Work in Progress, and this is mine. You are welcome and encouraged to go grab whatever you are working on and work alongside while I chat, or alternatively, you can treat this like a podcast and just listen while I chat. Today, I am going to be working on my Diamond Art Club Phoebe and Beauregard, and this is one of the kits that I'm doing for Mermaids and Magic. I've got my tray, I've got my pins, I've got my drills, notes, drink, everything I think I need. So I am going to rearrange things a bit so I can zoom into the section where I'm going to be working so you guys can see that, and I will be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right, let me start my timer. Grab my pen and I will get going. As you can see, I'm working over here in this section. And let me just grab my other ABs because I'm going to be putting an AB in this little piece of kelp or whatever it is, coral, whatever. Okay, let me grab a color and then I will get started. I'm still learning where everything is in my tray because I just started on this kit. But I will say it's going well so far, and I'm really liking it, so I'm happy with it. Okay, let me start off, as usual, with my life update. As far as I know, everyone is healthy and well. We are all looking forward to spring break. Spring break is this week for most of us. My poor husband still has to work, but my son is off for spring break from school. And my daughter is off from spring break also for school. So she doesn't have to work this week, which is nice. We're hopefully going to take this week to go get all the stuff we need done to renew our passports. I need to look up where we need to go. We can just go to like any Walgreens to get our photos taken. But I think I mentioned the last time when my husband went to go get his passport done, his US passport, there wasn't anybody in our county that could do it. We had to go to the next county over. I think we went to like a public library to have it done. I think that's what I remember anyway. I have all the other paperwork. Well, I have our paperwork, like our birth certificates and all that stuff that I'll need. I need to actually fill out the passport applications and send those in so we can get those both renewed. Hers expires in June, mine expires in July. So I thought I would take the opportunity while we were off. Everybody was off to go get that done. I say we. I'm always off because I'm not working, so whatever. But anyway, I want to get it renewed so I don't have to worry about that. We will have to let Canada know, I think. My husband and I need to go do some more searching. You guys, now, I had some exciting news. I have since had a couple of people kind of poo-poo that I was excited. So we'll see what happens. So you guys know we've been applying for our permanent residency in Canada. We applied last April, have had lots of ups and downs. We did our medical exams. We went and got our fingerprints taken. And my husband has a friend who did this with his wife. She's from the Philippines, and they went through this a couple of years ago with his wife immigrating. So every time something happens, we kind of ask him, okay, well, what's next? Because nowhere in any of this stuff do they tell you like what all the steps are and what they have. And I mean, I get that everybody's case is different. So maybe, somebody will have to do something that we don't have to do because they're in a different situation. But we haven't heard anything since we got our biometrics done, which was back in November. And we got a letter that said, we've got your documents, your application is being processed. And then it said that we would qualify for pre-arrival services and that there were services that you could only take advantage of prior to coming into Canada. Most of them we wouldn't qualify for, and a lot of them we don't need. Like there's several programs to help people find housing and stuff. We don't need any help doing that. There's several programs that are to help people learn how to speak English. Obviously, we don't need that. So I don't know that we qualify for any of that stuff. I was looking at, there were some business services. If you were going to be trying to open a business in Canada, there were like some entrepreneurship things, webinars and stuff that you could go to and stuff like that. And it says you need a copy of this letter in order to access these services. So, when you contact someone, make sure you have a copy of this letter handy. So I told my husband, why would we need that if we weren't just waiting on a rubber stamp? And I don't want to get too excited. Maybe it's not that simple, but I mean, he's a Canadian citizen. We're applying to move back there so he can be close to his dad because his dad is in ill health. Yeah, just don't see why it would be a problem, but we understand that we have to go through the process. So yeah, I'm excited, regardless of the naysayers who, I guess don't think I should get excited about it, or I don't know, are trying to warn me not to be overly excited in case something goes wrong. Trust me, my brain takes care of plenty of that. I told my husband when he called me to tell me that he got the email in the letter, we're super excited. Okay, we must be one step closer, blah, blah, blah. I mean, we know we're not done yet, but we must be one step closer. And he called his friend and, okay, what happens after this? And, basically his friend said, well, if you've gotten that letter, then he waited another 6 to 8 months and then they got a letter that said you're approved. Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. But immediately my brain goes to, we only got one letter. Why didn't we get a letter for my son? Because everything else has had a letter for him. But then my husband pointed out, everything else we've had to do, like to go get our med exams, we got letters for all three of us because my daughter had to go for that. When we got our biometrics done, I got a letter for my son, but not my daughter because she's not coming with us. So, and we're all on the same application. So I'm assuming that's what it is. It's been, like I said, we started applying last April. So, I mean, it's actually gone really quickly. I can't complain about that. We've heard stories. My husband is in several Facebook groups about people who are trying to do the same thing that we are. And, it's been a nice resource for us when we have questions to go to because I mean, at least so far as we've experienced, you can't find anything out from the government. Nobody will tell you anything. All we ever get is something that says it's processing. When we were in Canada and we called, we never could get a hold of an actual person. We just got a recording that said it was processing. Whenever we checked online, we just got a thing that said it was processing. Now, there has been a change. When we checked when we were up in Canada, it said it was processing and it said, that they had received our medical exams and our biometrics and kind of had like a little 2 or 3 lines of history of things that we had sent in. After we got this letter, he went and checked and none of that is there now. So I don't know if that was just waiting for someone to say, okay, we've got all that. Now we can send them this next letter. I don't know. We don't, like I said, there's nowhere in there does it tell you these are the steps. It just, we knew we'd need medical exams. We didn't think we'd need biometrics, and we ended up having to do that, along with all the other, various bits and bobs and pieces of paper and documents and things that we had to send in with the initial application. I'm excited. I'm hoping that means we're closer to being done. So if just let me bask in my, we might be getting close glory for a little bit before you burst my bubble. So that happened this week. What else? Oh, some exciting things, guys. I've got some exciting things happening. We got our taxes done, which doesn't sound that exciting, I will admit, but we are getting a refund from state, so that's nice that we don't have to pay that. I mean, that's what I was expecting, but the refund is about what I was expecting, so no huge surprises for me as far as federal goes. And then I was pleasantly surprised that we do not owe nearly as much to state as I thought. Last year we owed over $2,000 to state. Not quite sure why that was so much. My husband's income gets weird some years because he does storm work. And so some years, yeah, it's just weird. And we have to file different states depending on where he works. Sometimes, the states take care of it. Sometimes the company takes care of it. Sometimes we have to do it. So it gets weird sometimes. But we are getting I think like a $9 refund from one of the states that he worked in this year. So, nothing huge, but hey, $9 is $9. It's $9 we don't have to pay. So, and then we only owe like $700 or $800 to state, which is great because, like I said, I thought it was going to be where it was last year, and it's not going to be. So that's good. And that has a tab on it. So let me pull that one back off. Whoop. Well, it knew where it needed to go because it flew directly into the trash can. So I guess good for it. Anyway, so we got our taxes back. So that's good. So now we can just wait on the refund to hit our bank account, which will be nice because we have some bills to pay. Our house insurance is due this month. We finally got the final bill, and it's about $300 less than I had planned for. So I'm happy about that. I mean, I still think it's way too expensive. It's ridiculous. But, we have to carry the insurance because we have a mortgage on the house, and it is our biggest investment. If anything happened to it, I would want, to be able to replace it. So yeah, so the refund will help with that. We also get to pay our car insurance. We pay that every 6 months, so we get to pay that this month. And then, yeah, I'll pay. I was gonna wait until April to pay our state taxes, but I might just go ahead and send it in. Just the principle of the thing, I usually wait until the very last minute to pay it, but I might just send it in so that I can, see that the check has been cashed before taxes are due. So I have peace of mind that everything is done and good to go. So, okay. What else? Oh, because we got our taxes done and got those back, I was asking some questions. And when I started this YouTube channel, my goal was that I wanted to replace the income that I was making from the preschool with income from the channel. Not that I was making a ton of money at the preschool. I wasn't by any stretch of the imagination. It was a part-time job. I didn't work every day of the week. I worked 2 or 3 days a week. And of course, during the summers, I didn't work at all because school was out. So preschool wasn't in session either. So, 9 months of the year and 2 or 3 days a week. But anyway, that was my goal with starting the channel was can I make enough to equal or exceed what I was making working at the preschool? And I did not think that I had made it, and I did. Looking at the numbers, I did make it. So I'm pretty stoked. I mean, again, it's not huge amounts of money. I'm not, you know, I'm never going to be YouTube is never going to be my full-time income doing this. Diamond painting is just such a niche for even for crafting that nobody's going to make a full-time living off of just diamond painting YouTube. I don't think. I mean, maybe it's possible. I don't think so, but anyway, I was really happy to find out that I've made that goal without even realizing it. Just, I guess, been focused on other things and hadn't really taken a look at the numbers, and I actually thought I was still making less, but because YouTube is a year-round thing because I'm always working on it. I don't take summers off, that kind of thing. Yeah, that's been enough to make up for it. And I mean, YouTube is still part-time. I don't spend all my time doing things on YouTube by any stretch of the imagination. I don't spend all my time working on things for YouTube. It takes up a good chunk of my time, but it's not everything. If anything, I wonder how other diamond painting YouTubers do it because I don't work. I know other people who have full-time jobs, and we all have families and homes and things like that to take care of, bills to pay, that kind of stuff. Things that take your focus away from that. So, yeah, I don't want to forget how lucky I am that I'm able to kind of stay home and do the things that I do, and we're able to still live comfortably. It was a good week. Kind of a boring week, nothing horribly exciting other than our news from Canada, which was super exciting, if I'm honest. Like I said, I posted in my Facebook group, but I, like, anything from them, is, just an indication that even if we're just being passed from desk to desk to desk, at least we're moving, which is something, right? And I know, the US government is the same way. When my husband got his permanent residency here, it was just a lot faster because he was here. We lived here. I think also it goes faster because you just kind of go about your daily lives and you're living. And he was, doing all of these things. And I mean, he couldn't work yet, but you know what I mean? We were living our lives basically and all that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, I think it just feels different. Not better or worse, just different. And, we could have gone the route of going up to Canada and applying from within Canada, but we had reasons for doing it this way. And, at the time when we applied, his dad was not ill. So that has kind of put more of a urgency to it, I guess, for us than it had before. So we'll see what happens. I did ask my husband if he'd checked to see if his cousin's house had sold, and it hasn't. They were all so sure that it was going to get snapped up within hours, and nope, it's still for sale. And honestly, I think it's still for sale because I think they're asking more than it's actually worth market-wise. I mean, I know worth is subjective. I'm sure it's worth that to them, but that doesn't mean it's going to be worth it to someone else to pay what they want out of it. You know what I mean? It'd be interesting to see what happens at least. So yeah, nothing super exciting other than our letter from Canada, and yeah, we're getting a refund. I mean, I guess that's exciting. I shouldn't say I guess. That is exciting. We don't owe money. That's always nice, right? It's always nice to get money back than get told you owe money. We went and got our groceries, and my husband gets in the car with this weird look on his face. And I'm like, what? And he goes, why did you order 2 gallons of skim milk? And I just looked at him like he was crazy. And I said, I didn't. I would never order skim milk. If you like skim milk, more power to you. I think skim milk tastes like water with a little bit of milk poured in it. We buy 2%, and we don't drink enough milk that I would order 2 gallons anyway. I ordered a half gallon of 2%, and that's all I had ordered. And I said, so, they've obviously stuck somebody else's skim milk in ours. And we happened to be going to go into the grocery store. I don't know about you guys, but the grocery stores around here, if they get to a low stock on something, a couple of the stores, they won't sell it to you online. If they get down to just like 1 or 2 of them, you can't buy them online. They will give you a thing that says it's unavailable. And then when you go into the store, they're there, but there's only 1 or 2. So there were a couple of things that we got told we couldn't get. And so I had said to my husband, let's go into the grocery store. I want to look around and see if they actually have any or if they're truly out. And I had a card. I needed a birthday card and a gift card, and I wanted to go in for those anyway. So I said, let's just, we'll get our groceries, put them in the trunk, and then we'll just run in real quick and pick up the couple of things that I need. So we happen to be planning to go in anyway, and he's asking me about this skim milk, and I'm like, I didn't order it. They've messed up again. Last time they messed up, we got, and this was been a while ago before eggs were really expensive. We got like 5 dozen eggs. And we get home, and he didn't say anything to me. He just thought I'd ordered them because he thought I was going to do some baking or something. And we get home, and he puts them on the counter, and I was like, did you order these? And he said, no, I thought you did. And I was like, why would I order 5 dozen eggs? We ended up using them, but yeah. And, it's not the first time that things have gotten mixed up in our orders, but usually, other than the 5 dozen eggs and now the skim milk, it's usually not that big of a mistake. So we just loaded them up, and, we would have just thrown them away. Nobody in my house will drink skim milk. So we decided just to take them back in because we're like, I hate to just throw them away, and somebody's going to be shorted skim milk in their order because it got put in ours. So we took them back in, and the lady at the counter was just like, well, acted like it was no big deal or whatever. And then my husband happened to run into the lady who had actually brought out the groceries to our car when we picked them up and told her what had happened. And she was like, oh no, that's not good that we're making those mistakes already today. So She thanked him for bringing them back in and said she'd go check everybody else's order to see who was missing those. So hopefully whoever ordered skim milk got all their skim milk this week. Grocery mix-ups. That's grocery mix-ups, letters from Canada, and taxes. Those are my exciting things this week. Anything exciting happened to you guys this week? Please share. Leave a comment below. You guys, I'm approaching some milestones. I'm approaching some milestones on the channel. I'm approaching some milestones in the Facebook group. I'm approaching some milestones on Instagram. So if you don't follow me all those places, please do. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button here on YouTube. You can find links in the description box below for my Facebook group, my Facebook page. I'm trying to be better about posting in the Facebook group. And then follow me on Instagram at diamondpaintinganonymous. You can find the link for that in the description as well. I do try to post on Instagram kind of in progress pictures, and I post a lot more of those on Instagram, and I'm trying to get better about posting those on Facebook as well than you will see here on the channel, just because I think those are easier mediums for doing that. And I'm working on some projects. If you saw the video yesterday, I am going to be doing 2 mermaids for Mermaids and Magic. And I say I'm doing it for Mermaids and Magic. You know, I'm not actually entering any of their little giveaways or anything like that. It's just a fun excuse to do a kit. Since I had 2 of these, I asked you guys and you voted. This was the one that won, so I'm doing this first, but I'm still going to be doing the other one. So I unboxed it yesterday, and I'm going to be working on that one. I'm going back to my roots with that one though. You know, I've tried the washi tape method where you cut the cover sheet with the washi tape and the squares. I don't like doing that. I'm such a heavy, I press so hard, I'm afraid I'm going to cut a canvas all the way through. So I just don't like that method. So I've gone to my release papers and that's what I've used. But when I very first started out, because I didn't know what release papers were, I was using parchment paper, or partridge paper as we call it around my house. Somebody at work was talking about it and they called it partridge paper. And she just called it that and then went on, and I was like, what is partridge paper? And she's like, you know, that paper that doesn't stick? And I was like, you mean parchment paper? And she's like, is that what it's called? Everyone in my family calls it partridge paper. And I was like, okay. So now it's a running joke in my house that every time we get it out, oh, I need some partridge paper. Anyway, I went back to using it for this other mermaid kit because I haven't used it in a while and I wanted to try it out again. And also, I saw somebody doing it on Instagram. And my thing with the release papers is, because I take in progress photos for Instagram, the release papers block the rest of the photo. So you can't really tell what the image is of if most of it is blocked out by the white release papers. And you can see through the parchment paper. Hopefully that will be kind of fun that I'm going back and doing that again. Sorry if my arm's in the way here. I'm trying to place some of these drills carefully. And then also, what was I going to say? I thought of something. Going back to the partridge paper so that I could take photos. And it's gone. Whatever I was going to say, that was a thought on top of that, is now gone. Well, I guess I should formally jump into my diamond painting life, huh? You guys, I have had the worst luck lately. I don't know what is going on, but so far, every time I go to post an unboxing or, you know, I pick a kit to work on, I feel like it's been discontinued. Of all the kits that I've done so far this year, this one, Phoebe and Beauregard, is already discontinued. So I don't know if they just didn't think people would like it. I don't know if people didn't like it and they ended up with a bunch of extras. I don't know, but it's discontinued. And then I went to my Enchanted Forest one from Diamond Art Club, the unicorn one that I did. It's been discontinued. My Penguin Trio, I went back for Dreamer Designs to look at that one, and that one's been discontinued. Now, that particular one I could understand. It's been around for a while, and it just took me a while to actually buy that one. I bought it for Black Friday. So that one doesn't particularly surprise me, but just coming on the heels of, the Enchanted Forest one I did, and it was discontinued. And then I moved to the Penguins, and it was discontinued. And then I moved to Jules and Verne, which I bought in 2020, but that one is still available, which, great. It's a great image, but that just seems weird. Because this was a new release last year. I mean, it wasn't out very long at all before I bought it. So that seemed weird. And then from Jules and Verne, I moved to this one. This one's been discontinued. And then after this one, I'm going to be working on the other mermaid kit that I got from Dreamer Designs. And when I went to go do the video for the unboxing of it, it's been discontinued. And I'm like, okay, I guess, I feel bad because I'm telling people, look at this cool diamond painting and then you can't get it, which seems mean. But I guess that's my own fault because I don't, on some of them, I guess it's my own fault because I don't get to them. But that doesn't make sense because my Enchanted Forest was a fairly new release. It was just released in 2022. This one was a new release. The two from Dreamer Designs, I'll give them a pass because I know both of those had been kind of long-standing stock items for them. Not hugely surprised that the two of those are discontinued, but also, just seems like, how come I'm picking ones lately that are discontinued? Am I not with all the in trends at the moment in diamond painting? Oh, and speaking of in trends, you guys, I look at a lot of budget diamond painting company stuff because I have a few companies that send me stuff for review, which is great. It's very nice to be able to get some things and be able to share them with you. With all this AI art, I don't know how you're going to be able to tell anymore what's truly a piece of art that someone made because I mean, with these AI things, you can literally say, make me a painting in the style of Muka, say, and it will do that. But you can also say, make me a painting in the style of Jasmine Beckett Griffith, or make me a painting in the style of Anna Dittman, or make me a painting in the style of, I don't know, pick an artist. You can, as long as they've got paintings that are out on the internet, the the AI bot can go find, examples of their artwork and then essentially, I don't want to say copy it because they're not technically copying it. Or maybe they are. Maybe it's a conglomeration of a bunch of different things rather than a new creation. I don't know. I have a lot of mixed feelings about AI, both for art purposes and also for writing purposes. But yeah, it's when I was looking at some of the budget companies, a lot of the art that what I was seeing looked exactly like AI art stuff. And it was like, whoa. So it'll be interesting to see how that progresses and how artists respond in the diamond painting community specifically and things like that. I mean, I know just in the world at large, there's a lot of artists who are not happy with the whole situation. Don't know that that's going to make any difference, but we'll see. So yeah, anyway, just something I noticed. Having the worst luck, everything I seem to pick has been discontinued. So I apologize for that. I will try to have some things that are available for you. But I am going to be sharing the finish of my Jules and Verne. And that, last I checked, is still available. So I have been working kind of behind the scenes, trying to get myself more organized just so I can be better at doing things. I was watching some videos that said, you need to, setting goals is fine, but you also need to work on a system. Like if you say, okay, my goal is to run a 5K. Okay, that's great. It's a great goal. But what are you going to do to get yourself to that goal, right? You need a system in place to help you figure out how you're going to do that. And I am very guilty of just setting the goal and then kind of going, and trying to figure out on the fly how to get there instead of kind of looking at it beforehand. So I've been trying to get better about that and figure out things, how can I make things more organized, get systems in place so that I can have time to do all the things that I want to do. I mean, I love diamond painting, but I don't want to spend all day, every day diamond painting. So yeah, just working on that and trying to get it organized because hopefully that means that I'm also going to be more organized about all of the things that I want to bring to the channel. I've had ideas for a while for lots of different videos that just haven't come to fruition because they're going to take a while for me to put together, and I have just been flying by the seat of my pants for a while since the end of last year, kind of. And I mean, I know where I'm going. Like I said, I've got a goal, but I don't really have enough systems to support how the things I want to do. So working on those, and I have some exciting things coming. So yeah, subscribe so that you don't miss any of the exciting things. I'm excited about them, so hopefully that means you will be too. I will say, after reflecting, and I may have mentioned this before, I really feel like I'm enjoying my diamond painting more this year. And I think that's, well, for a lot of reasons, but mainly one, I'm trying to remember to be nicer to myself about making my goals flexible. I have my goal for my artist series, and I'm working on it. I'm not working on it in exactly the way that I thought I would be, but that's okay. I'm at least making progress on it, and that's what counts. And I really, even though I'm diamond painting, I would say I'm diamond painting more than I did at the end of last year. I was just so rushed and frantic and trying to, meet all these kind of artificial goals that I had set for myself, that I was focused on that and not focused on the diamond painting. And yeah, I've just enjoyed it a lot more this year. I've done some projects that I really, really like. I can't wait for you guys to see Jules and Vern and how that turned out. I really like that one. I liked my Enchanted Forest one. I think it turned out really cute. I'm loving this one so far with the little mermaid and everything. I think it's turning out really well. So I'm really happy with it. I've got other kits that I'm looking forward to. So, and that, I think last year I just didn't have goals set for a particular diamond painting. So I don't know if that meant that I wasn't looking forward to things like I am this year. Because I have several kits on my list that, like my Jules and Vern, that I've had for a while that I've wanted to do, and I just hadn't felt like it made sense to work on them because I was busy focusing on other goals and things. And this year, I think setting that artist series goal has kind of freed me up to say, you know what? Whether this makes sense or not, I'm not following a theme. I'm not, doing whatever. I'm going to do this one because I like this painting. I like this image. And that's the one I'm going to work on next. And I think, that's especially when you're doing YouTube or, even just doing TikTok and Instagram and things like that. In addition to diamond painting, it's so easy to get caught up in all the other junk going on that you forget to enjoy yourself. At the end of the day, that's ultimately what it's about. I mean, yes, I have the YouTube channel, and yes, it's kind of turned into a business. And yes, there are going to be days where I have to do things that I don't particularly enjoy or even like. And that, that is what it is. That's just part of life, right? Welcome to being a grown up. That's what I tell my kids every time they complain about stuff like that. But, at the end of the day, too, I started this because it was something that I really enjoyed, and I don't want to lose that part of it. There's my PSA for diamond painting. Don't let whatever else you're doing around it suck the joy out of it for you. Okay, let me finish these last four drills here, and then I think I'm going to call it a day today. I lied, one more. I have some other things I need to get done, and I didn't bring my straightener in here, so I need to go back and straighten up some of these drills before I place anything else. And how long have I been talking? Oh, enough. You guys have listened to me ramble on enough. So let me zoom out so you guys can see what I did. And I did something a little bit different this time. I am actually starting at the top, even though it looks like the bottom. She's upside down, so I'm starting at the top. I've got the whole first row across the top done, and I'm working my way across on the second row. And it's really going pretty fast, so I'm happy with that. And she's going to be super cute when she's finished. And then once I get done with this one, I can work on my other mermaid. And then at some point, I'm going to have to work on my heaven and earth design because that one has just kind of been laying at the bottom of the pile. on my workspace, and every time my son walks by, he goes, "Mom, how come you're not working on that one?" And I'm like, "Well, because I've been working on all these other things." So, yeah, I need to get back into working on that one, but it's all good. That's it for me today, guys. Thanks so much for sticking around till the end of the video. Before you leave, don't forget to do all the things. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.